field in Somerset using a metal detector. Inside were 52,000 coins dating from the 3rd century AD. Our correspondent John Kay is in Somerset now. John.
Yes, Sophie, this is Frome Museum. I don't think I've ever seen people queuing to get into a library or museum before, but here there are hundreds of people waiting this lunchtime to come and have a look at some of these 52,000 coins that were found in a field not far away. They've said we can pick them up if we're very careful. They were found a few months back. There we go. They've been in the ground for nearly 2,000 years in incredibly good condition. And as you say, now they're officially treasure. So they've made one man very happy and potentially very rich.
Dave Crisp has been metal detecting for more than 20 years. He always told his friends that one day he would find the big one. And in April, he did. In this Somerset field, he discovered a pot containing more than 50,000 Roman coins.
Right here.
Right there, right where you are now.
Dave wants the location of the field to remain top secret, but he's quite happy to talk about what happened on the day he made his discovery.
I got a Roman hoard in a pot. A Roman hoard of coins. I mean, I didn't know what size the pot was. I didn't know how many was in, but I knew I'd found a Roman pot of coins. I mean, for all I knew, it could have been a little canister. It could have been the size of a tea caddy, but it turned out to be the size of a beer barrel. I mean, it was unbelievable.
The coins have now been cleaned up by experts from the British Museum, who've described the hoard as extraordinary and of immense historic value. Of course, it's also of significant cash value, possibly more than £1 million. So today's decision that his find is officially treasure means Dave, a hospital chef, will now get 50% of the full value.
If it was, say, a share of £1 million, how would that change your life?
I don't know. I'd probably buy a new wok. No, I don't know. To be honest, I'm coming up for retirement anyway. Hey, this is what matters. I'm the finder of the largest single hoard of Roman coins ever.
He's going to split the money equally with the dairy farmer who owns the land. Geophysicists say they're confident there are no more pots in this field, but Dave isn't so sure. He's going to keep looking and looking.
Well, these few are only here for a few hours today. They're going back to the British Museum, but the County of Somerset is hoping they can raise the funds to buy them so they can go on display here permanently. Sophie.
Amazing. John, thank you very much. Medical experts say hundreds of people a year who have minor strokes are missing out on potentially life-saving surgery. A new report reveals dangerous delays in operations to reduce the risk of a more serious attack. Our health correspondent, Adam Brimelow, reports.
This patient is having an operation to help prevent a stroke. The surgeon is opening a narrowed artery, reducing the risk of clots that could then travel up to the brain. Delaying this kind of procedure any more than 2 weeks after a mini-stroke can be fatal. But today's audit suggests that most patients miss the deadline.
If you operate within 2 weeks, you'll prevent about 185 to 200 strokes per 1,000 operations at 5 years. If you wait for longer than 12 weeks, which is only 3 months, you'll prevent about 8. The difference is huge.
3 months ago, Robert Park had a mini-stroke. His arm went dead. He couldn't feel his hand, but the symptoms passed quickly, and it was only later on that he told his wife. The next day, she got him to go to his GP, who referred him on to a specialist. Soon afterwards, he had the operation.
No time to be lost. My own father died. Nowadays, he probably wouldn't have. If you've got any doubts, get there as quickly as you can.
Campaigners say it's vital that patients and health staff recognise the symptoms as an emergency.
Hospitals could improve the way that they treat people who've had a mini-stroke when they come in, so that they get service much quicker and they get treated much faster.
The report authors say if enough of these operations were carried out in good time, 500 lives could be saved each year. The Department of Health in England says the NHS has made progress on improving stroke services, but needs to go further. Adam Brimelow, BBC News.
The current wave of cuts in council budgets may claim an unlikely victim: speed cameras. A year ago, Swindon became the first council in the UK to scrap its fixed speed cameras, claiming they didn't lower the number of accidents on the roads. Now, other councils are looking to follow its lead. So, are fixed speed cameras about to be consigned to history? Graham Satchell reports.
Are speed cameras just a cash cow for the government, or do they reduce the number of accidents on the road? Since the cameras were switched off in Swindon a year ago, the number of accidents has stayed the same. For the Taxpayers Alliance, it's further evidence that speed cameras have no impact on road safety. They claim the number of casualties on the road, which has been falling since the 70s, actually slowed down when speed cameras were introduced in the early 1990s.
Speed cameras are very good at bringing in money. I mean, we've looked at the fine revenue and it's, just less than £100 million just in 1 year alone. But ultimately, they're not good at stopping accidents.
But go to Plymouth and you hear a different story. In Devon, there are 91 fixed cameras and 6 mobile cameras like this. The number of people killed or seriously injured at camera sites has gone down 67% here in the last 4 years.
Do speed cameras work?
Yes, they do. In my view and my experience, I can quote locations where speed cameras have reduced speeds, and in doing that, they've reduced casualties.
But this whole debate about speed cameras has been rather superseded by events. The government has cut the road safety grants to local authorities from £77 to £56 million this year, and it's withdrawn funding for new speed cameras. In Devon and Cornwall, the speed camera budget has already been cut by 26%. It means analysis of where accidents happen, the viewing of film from fixed and mobile cameras, the issuing of fines will all significantly reduce.
There will be far more road traffic collisions and possibly serious injuries or even fatalities without the level of speed enforcement that we have at the moment.
Redundancy letters are about to go out in Devon. Half the staff here will lose their jobs. The government says it wants money diverted from cameras to signs, education, engineering solutions, as they've done in Swindon. But it's clearly signalled the beginning of the end of the speed camera. Graham Satchell, BBC News.
The famous World Heritage Site at Stonehenge could have a long-lost twin. Archaeologists have discovered a circular ditch they think would have housed a wooden structure just 900 metres from the stone circle. Our correspondent David Gregory reports.
Stonehenge, 4,500 years old and well studied by experts and tourists alike. Now, amazing as these stones are, for archaeologists, what's going on in the landscape around them is actually just as important. And that's what an international team led by Birmingham University are investigating. And these archaeologists use scanners, not spades.
Totally cutting edge. And, people haven't surveyed at these speeds, at this density, this quickly over such a large area before.
Certainly, even the places that we've known about, we're getting images and we're getting data, the like of which have never been seen before.
This is the image that has everyone excited. A scan that shows a hidden ditch, a ring of large dark patches, and inside another ring of deeper pits shown in yellow for large wooden posts. It means there was another henge, this one made of wood and aligned with Stonehenge itself.
To put this in context, we haven't found a major ceremonial site of this type or of this significance for probably 50 years or more within the area of Stonehenge. It fills in another gap in the landscape, but it changes the character of the landscape. In the later Neolithic, the presumption was this is just an empty field. Now you've got a major ceremonial